ginger syrup is super great. It's super potent. It can kick your agni up to fire. It can soothe your sore throat, ease indigestion or nausea in the morning too. You can take a shot of it. I would say maybe a tablespoon is all you need. You can add it to oatmeal, a smoothie, even some dressings that you make at home. I take it straight in the morning just to kickstart my digestive fire. Hey guys, my name is Claire and this is Claire Minded. Today I'm showing you how to make ginger syrup. And ginger syrup is a super powerful Ayurvedic remedy. It could be used for nausea, indigestion, upset stomach, for sore throat. It helps reduce inflammation, ease muscle pain, as well as providing you tons of antioxidants for your body to help strengthen that immune system. And it's super easy to make. It doesn't take that long too. So grab your kitchen. All we're gonna need is ginger, cinnamon sticks, distilled water, and honey or maple syrup for the end afterwards. Okay, so super easy for this recipe, this herbal remedy. All we're gonna need is some fresh ginger root. If you can get organic, that is best. We'll need 1 or 2 cinnamon sticks and distilled water that we're going to add in. So the recipe is super easy. We're gonna take our fresh ginger root and we're gonna thinly slice it because we're gonna need about 1 cup of thinly sliced ginger root. And ginger is super medicinal and powerful in Ayurveda as it helps ease digestion. It can help build agni, which is our digestive fire, which is essential in healing almost any disease or manifestation that we get throughout our lives. It always stems back to the digestive tract. So you want to thinly slice the ginger. You don't have to be too crazy about it. Nice and thinly sliced like that. We're gonna need 1 cup. So go ahead and measure. Use a little bit more. There we got our 1 cup. That's all we need. Okay, so now we're gonna move on over to our stovetop, and this is where all the magic is going to happen. Okay, so we're gonna add the cup of thinly sliced ginger. We're gonna toss in our 2 cinnamon sticks, and then we're going to add 2 cups of distilled water, and we're gonna simmer it down to only about halfway. So we wanna simmer off about a full cup of this water. And then turn the pot on, get it nice and hot. Bring it to a boil and then simmer it. Cool, so ginger syrup is super easy to make. And like I said, you add sweetener to it, but you can do this at the end if you're using honey, or if you're using sugar, then you add it in with the water as well. I'm gonna be using honey, so we add it in at the end. And the reason we don't cook the honey is because when it reaches a certain temperature, when it's too high, the honey can become toxic and burn in a way and just become really bad for your system. So honey is added in at the end after the concoction has cooled off completely. But if you want to use sugar to make this vegan, you can add the sugar at the beginning with the water so it's all melted in together. Got the good stuff going over here. So it's warming up now. We want to bring it to a soft boil, and then we're going to reduce it to a slow simmer. So you can see as it's heating up right now, we're just going to wait a tiny bit longer. The bubbles are coming. Cool, so once we have it to this soft boil here, we're gonna reduce the temperature to low. And then we're gonna slowly let it soothe down and come to a nice slow simmer. Keep your eye on the pot, but this is a nice little slow simmer that we want. And now we're gonna keep it on a low simmer for about 30-ish minutes. Keep an eye on it though, because we only wanna take off about half of the concoction total. So we want to reduce the amount of water from 2 cups down to 1 cup. So when we turn it off, we have about half of the decoction left. We're gonna steep this and let it cool off. I'm gonna use a tiny little strainer here. If you have something bigger, like a cheesecloth, that works just as good too. I'm gonna strain out any chunks. Cool, and we're gonna let this cool off before we add any honey. Smells potent. And then when you don't know what to do with your leftover herbs here, these are super powerful for the nature. Let's send it back to the earth, so compost if you have it, or yeah, compost it. Okay, so after our ginger decoction has cooled off, now we're gonna add it to a sterilized jar, and then we're gonna add in our honey. And again, if you're using sugar, you can use that at the beginning. I'll drop those in the show notes. But if you're using honey, you wanna wait until after it has cooled down and then mix it in, because honey at too high of a temperature can cause toxicity in the system. So we're gonna take our ginger cinnamon decoction and pour it into a nice sterilized jar. There we go, spill a little. Okay, so we have about a cup, so it's half of the original amount that we had at the beginning. And then we're gonna take our honey. Always choose local and fresh as best as possible. Know your beekeeper. Honey is super medicinal, but we wanna keep it conscious. And so I'm gonna add about, maybe just over a half cup. You can add anywhere between a half cup and a cup if you want to. That was maybe more about 3/4 of a cup. But the ginger decoction is going to be super potent, so we wanna add the honey as well to soothe the sore throat, the nausea, the indigestion. It helps a lot with that, but also to cut out the pungency of the ginger that's in here. Grab a spoon and then just give it a nice little mixture. The honey's pretty thick, so you do want to take a moment just to mix it all together. It'll take time, but they will infuse together. And then you could try a sip right away. Woo! Tastes like a red hot fireball, but so good. Super good. So now we're going to keep it stored. So we're gonna add a clean lid, and we want to make sure we label our jars always. Always label your herbal remedies. I have a label maker where I'm going to label it, but all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. Just stick it on there, super easy. Label it up. And then store this in the fridge for up to, I would say, 1 to 2 months maximum.